I have some tour dates to let you know about. East Lansing, Michigan, February 27th. We'll be performing there. Victoria, BC in the Canada on March 16. College Station, Texas. Belton, Texas over there. Oxford, Mississippi in the Hotty Toddy Belt. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Nashville, Tennessee. My home currently. And maybe forever. We'll see how God does the zoning in my life. Winnipeg in the Canada, in Calgary in the Canada right there. Get all your tickets at theovon.com/TOUR. Thank you so much for your support. And this is still the Return of the Rat Tour. I think we're going to end this tour at some point this year, but that's the one it is for now. Thank you. Good day, sir. I said good day. It's been a week. What's been happening? Oh, a good day. First of all, let me say that to you. And this is the day that we have been given. And and I'm happy to be here and alive with you today on planet Earth at this time in existence. And here we are. What is going on? I'm in Los Angeles, right? And I forgot that I have a Jeep Cherokee out here. And it's probably maybe 6-7 years old or something. And I forgot that I wasn't driving my car at home, right, in Nashville. So the other day, I thought my car got stolen. So I called the police or whatever, or, the authorities. They come, the guy, we're standing, I'm like telling him, describing my car, which is a Cybertruck. And I know that's alarming and it makes a lot of people sad, and that's okay. But I'm describing, and it is, it's like driving like a molar filling for the Statue of Liberty. You just feel like you're driving this huge molar filling for some gigantic thing. But anyway, besides all that, I call the police. I'm telling the guy, took a while, waited probably 40 minutes. I'm telling the officer, explaining the vehicle and stuff. And I reach in my pants. I have car keys, right? I have car keys. And the guy, and I said, well, these are the keys to it. And I gave them to him. And he presses the button and the fucking dude, the car was like fucking 5 cars away. I thought that I was driving my Cybertruck. I just forgot. I thought I was driving my truck, and I forgot because I just hadn't been in Los Angeles in so long, and I just forgot that I was driving this Cherokee, the Jeep. So the Jeep, like I'm a multi-car owner. But anyway, absolutely embarrassing and just ridiculous, and just, I was to describe the vehicle to him. So shit, turn that off. And describe the vehicle. And first of all, when you're describing a Cybertruck, you're like, yeah, it looks like you fucking can't, it's a fucking, it looks like a UFO that couldn't make it, that's kind of what, it's just very, it's like, it looks like like you're driving a sand wedge or something. So just that alone is bizarre. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know what happened. I ran inside here for a little bit and I came out and it was gone. So I'm telling him that, and then I have the keys, and then I think that's where my glitch was. I was like, yeah, and I guess I still have the keys, and I give them to him. He fucking presses the thing, and they're keys to the my Jeep, and bam, it's fucking right there. So anyway, whatever. That's where I'm at. What else? Let's get into it, man. I just got back from the inauguration in the USA, and I was, let's lead into it with a little instrumental. USA. Inauguration. Very beautiful. That's canon in D major right there, if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, I was just, I took a red-eye flight, and so I got in probably 6:30 in the morning, had to get dressed in the car, and took this suit that I have on, got dressed in the car, got dropped off at a hotel, right? And you couldn't go within like 5 blocks of the hotel. You had to, you couldn't drive up to it. So got dropped off. So I'm just walking, and it's cold, when you're like, you're hurrying because we had to get there by a certain time, by 8 a.m. to make sure, that I could be like legit or whatever. So I'm changing in this thing, and I didn't know the driver of the, car that picked me up. He was from a United Nations area or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This guy was we probably got him in a trade or something. I don't know how we got him, but he didn't speak a lot of English, and that's okay. And I didn't speak a lot of his language. So we just were, we were different. We were verbally kind of different people. And so anyway, I'm like, and I've never, I'd have to change in this car. And so it's just like, it's weird, first of all. And I had to change down to complete nudity, down to just, just down to the Lord's matte finish. You know what I'm talking about, baby, that first layer. And so it was just a lot, So anyway, that happened. And so anyway, we get like, you can only get within 5 blocks of this hotel to where I had to go check in by 8 a.m. And it was called Hotel Wilfred, wrote it down. And it was fancy. I mean, you go in and there's like a like somebody has a trumpet or whatever. They're not even playing it, but they're holding it or whatever, like a guy standing by the door. And there's some guy whose job, he stands outside. His only job is to just be cold. He just looks cold. He's like, it's like a nice place. It's like a place you would see on Home Alone where Kevin goes. But yeah, there's a guy out front. His job is just to get cold for the rich people inside so they don't have to do that, right? So he's just outside just being fucking freezing. That guy was out there, dude. And so I go inside and there's nice carpet and everything. And this wasn't where I was staying. This place was probably, I don't even know how much it was, but they wouldn't, it was a lot. But anyway, everything had carpet. The walls had carpet. The ceiling had carpet. Everything had kind of flooring or whatever, everything. But very fancy, like pictures of, somebody rich eating something, like, sirloin or whatever. So anyway, all that shit. So go in there and ask to use the restroom. They had a guy, the place was nice. They had a guy who was just looking at you, who looked like, do we let this dude use our toilets type of dude, kind of like a shit bouncer or whatever they call it, just a dude. And he looked at me and I could tell he was like visually on the fence, right? But then I kind of gave him like I can handle it. Type of thing, and then I went in the bathroom. I'm in there changing or whatever. I'm in there, getting, my toothbrush, and put some lotion on my arms and legs, right? Because I didn't want to, it was winter time and I get pretty chapped out. So anyway, I go and I meet our group in the lobby. And I meet up. There's a guy named Alex Brushewitz, and he was the guy who got us in to be able to go. And he was a guy also who his last name, I think Brushewitz. I don't know. It's letters that don't even fucking know each other, right? It's like you could tell some of the letters if you write it out. You're like, these bitches, these letters don't know each other, And if you look on the faces of some of the letters, if you had them lined up, you see some of the letters like, I don't know this guy, you know, pointing at the letter next to him or whatever. Yeah, Brookshurewitz, something like that. Anyway, I get there. This is the people that is in the group. Okay. It is Kyle from Nelk Boys, right? John Shahidi, from, Shots and Happy Dad. Jake Pauls, Logan Pauls. Who else? Let me think. Jake Pauls, Logan Pauls, Pam Pauls. Logan Pauls. Let me see. Logan Paul's mom is called Pam. And then Connor McGregor and Evander Holyfield and Danica Patrick, right? The race car. You know, she was like, at first they had like Princess and Mario Kart, and then right after that they had Danica Patrick. So, you know, one of only 2 female racers ever. So anyway, that is our group. That's our group, right? And like, I don't even know. Let me see. I'd met Evanders one time. Okay. So I'd met Evander. I'll tell you this story. I met Evanders. So Evanders is, one time I'm at an airport, I think it's Chicago, and they had a McDaniel's right there. And they had it all. You know what I'm talking about. They got it all, baby. They got the McDouble, the Whopper, the Nuggets, the Mac Nuggets, everything, you know. They got it all. The McFlurry, you know. The ice cream machine's down. Turn it on, Jack. That bitch ain't broken. Anyway, so one time I'm at the Chicago airport. I see Evander Holyfield sitting right there. He was at a table by himself. He got himself a medium fry. Okay. And I'm the kind of guy who, if I'm walking by and I see Evander Holyfield eating a medium fry, I'm going to stop and watch him. You know, and you don't know you're that type of guy until you're that type of guy. So I'm walking by, I see the fry, I see the Holyfield, bam, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's the fucking thriller for Vanilla McFlurry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to watch this. So Evander's is sitting there, he's putting fries into his mouth, and over the years, he's accumulated a lot of punches to his face, right? And that's historical facts. So some of the fries, he wasn't even opening his mouth, right? He was just pushing them through. Just pushing them through the, that Panamouth Canal, baby, through his face, through his mouth, just putting them in. And there was a girl who had been working at the Cinnabon down about maybe 70 yards, okay? They had a Cinnabon about 70 yards down the terminal. And I saw her run up. And she stopped right in front of Evander's, and he's there. He's in he's halfway through the 4th round of a fucking medium fry. And this girl runs right up, dude, and you could tell she'd left the counter unattended. I'm not trying to rat anybody out, but this was a young sister, and she'd left the counter unattended. Chicago airport, probably 9 years ago, right? Probably 7 p.m. She runs down, she points right at Evander's, and she says, "Ooh, I used to watch you wrestle. So it just goes to show you can work your whole life doing something, and somebody they don't know. People don't know. They think you wrestle. You know, you could be one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and somebody thinks you are Coco Beware, right? Somebody thinks you should have a bird on your shoulder. You know, it is what it is. No shade to any of those men. So anyway, that's the group, dude. So now I'm getting on. So you had to go outside. I asked the people at the front desk of the Willard Hotel. Nice, bro. Them bitches, damn. They like it was old too. Like they had ghosts, I bet, and even the ghosts would have a fucking wallet on them. That's how rich people. You see a ghost in there, and he'd be like, "Ooh, I'm rich, motherfucker." He wasn't even scaring people. He's like, "That's for fucking poor ghosts, homie." He was at the strip club, dude. Okay, so we get to the back of the bus, we sit down. So as we're going to get outside to get onto the bus, that's like leaving the hotel. We go out of the area. They have like Secret Service, and everything is very show your ID. Like every 30 feet, you're showing your ID to somebody, letting somebody look at you, some people touching your glands, the sides of your neck or whatever. Somebody's somebody's asking you who your mother is, that kind of shit. So there's just somebody like every 30 feet, you're clocking in with somebody. Every 30 feet, you're showing your credentials, showing that wristband, arm, neck brace, everything. They had all kind of wrist brace, neck brace, back brace, everything they had, armband, neck band, they had so many things you had to show to keep going, to keep moving on. So get on the bus. It's a full bus. There was a young lady and her husband right in front of me who were from Louisiana. That was really cool. She knew my friend Mandy that I used to date, and we was friends. It was her friend. I'm sitting next to Danica Patrick from the race car. You know what I'm saying? So you know how I am, bro. I'm trying to meet a wife, dude. She's got a man, no judgment. But yeah, it was great. So I sat by her. And she was awesome, dude. We're just clowning around having fun. Oh, I forgot to say this. So right before we start to get into the bus, that's when Conor McGregor's rolls up, bro. Conor McGregor's, dude. And this is you know what I'm saying? And this guy comes up, and his suit, it was like they perfectly fitted, brother. Like he just fucking, like the suit had just been stitched right around him just a second before he'd walked into our view. And he was just fresh. He was just fucking like he'd been just drinking Irish Spring soap water. He just looked like he was just fresh out the tap, And he was energetic, and he rolls right up, How you going, lad? Class, lad. Just nice, great to meet you, just positive. His energy was, and just a lot of energy, like a lot of, and it was a lot of good energy that he rolled up with. Just in right there to the Paul boys. And he didn't know, I guess him and the Pauls had confliction online, and I didn't know it. I didn't know that. You don't see me in all the gossip columns and all of that. But they'd had confliction online, grown men arguing on the internet. They'd been doing it. And no judgment, man. But yeah, he just comes in with his energy. He had his energy up like that. And he just had his energy like that. Like he just found all the pots of gold they'd ever hidden. Yeah, lad. Fair play, boys. And that's how he rolled up, Like it was almost like Notre Dame. It's like if he was the guy on the little helmet or whatever, on the hat. He was the Notre Dame guy, but he was twice as bad as that fucking little mascot guy they'd had. He could just it's like he had 1,000 Joe Joyces in each one of his hands. And he just had the fucking legs strong as the Moors, What are Moors? Let me look it up. I think I'm just yelling stuff out of my head. Group of people with surname Moore who originated from Ireland. Oh, well. The Moors. I thought it was like a thing. Moors. The cliffs of Moher. Oh, there you go. And he had legs like the cliffs of Moher. And he rolled up in his head. He just had the energy of a fucking... He had the energy. He just was full of electricity, man. He really was. He had it. He had a voraciousness. His aura was at about 7,000, 8,000. And I'm not even sure what the exchange rate of that is. And in British pounds. I think they use them there. What money do they use in Ireland? Oh. Euros. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's euros or minus, buddy. We're going to figure it out. But anyway, so that's how he rolled up a lot of electricity. But even just, dude, he knew my name, said something nice. So I was like, you know, I was very just, you know, I was like, holy shit, dude. So then we get on the bus, right? So I'm sitting next to Danica Patrick, okay? We're sitting in front of Evander Holyfield, dude. You know, and people used to watch him wrestle. And he is a legend. We're on this bus. And then John Shahidi, Kyle from Nelk, and Kyle Forgard, or Ferregard? I'm not sure. Is it Ferregard? Kyle, they call him Kyle. Obviously, I can tell why, because it's after that, it's fucking, you're bothering people. But Kyle from Nelk, right, who looked like he was going to court to not get in trouble for a serious crime, like a business crime. Like he looked dashing. He really did. The man looked dashing. And then behind them, Alex Brushewitz, John Shahidi, and then in the back, it was Jake Paul's, Logan Paul. Behind them, Pam, Logan's mom, and Conor McGregor, the fucking karate kid of Ireland. And it was just, and it was awkward. You could see also on everybody's face, because I guess there'd been issues between, the Pauls and the McGregors. They'd been having beef online or whatever. And so they'd been beefing. And so there was issues there and I didn't know it. But so it was just awkward, you know. So I think there was some energy there. But it was also, they said fair play to each other. Both of those sides said fair play to each other, boys. And we're going to have a good day and we're here for something bigger than us, you know, to witness just a country that has freedom. And so the bus took off. Took a while. We probably sat there 40 minutes. A lot of laughter and fun stuff. You know, just crazy, dude. I mean, I can't even believe I'm sitting next to. Hold on. I'm sitting by Evander Holyfield, dude, right? And you could tell he can feel like these other boxers in the back, but we know who the fucking dog is, you know? And I looked at him like, I'm on your team, brother. You know what I'm saying? If shit gets fucking risky out here, you know, if things get crazy, you know, then you know what I'm saying? He's, you know, he's getting up in years, but if you got to even use me as a white walker just to help you get out of here, let us, whatever we got to do, man. I truly can't believe that I'm on this, you know, do you find yourself in certain moments where you're like, this is pretty crazy that you're in a moment, right? And it's just regular people for sure. But you're like, this is like, who did we trick or whatever to get in here? You know, like how did we, I don't know. And we didn't trick anybody, but there's just like, yeah, you're like, what are we? You know, one of these things is not like the other. It just seemed like, I don't know. And I'm not trying to say that like in a self-pity or like pity me way. Or like, oh, I don't deserve to be there. I'm just like, it just was fucking kind of a surprising moment. We're all going to a presidential inauguration. I don't know these people, you know, I don't know. I mean, I know John Shahidi really well. He's actually a close friend of mine, who runs Happy Dad. And I know, who else was it? I paid for one of Evander's fights before for sure when they had early pay-per-view, I know. And I've paid for one of the Paul's fights. And I'd met Jake and Logan, but I don't know them, you know? So anyway, there we all are. We're on a bus. We get over by the Capitol. And they say, as soon as the thing ends, we have 6 minutes to get out of the venue and back onto the bus before they're going to shut down certain roads. And that was one of the biggest things. All along the outside, when I've been walking towards the hotel and everything, it's probably 10 to 30 degrees or 40 degrees or 34, 6, 7 degrees, right? It's not a ton of degrees, but it's not like no degrees, but it's like some degrees. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's military everywhere. Every fucking, there'd be military, there's like SWAT team, police, sheriffs, undercover, like a Marine, there was people in high, there was like I went to use a mailbox, I opened it up, it's a fucking, military guy in disguise, dressed up like a, mail thing. Like, oh, fuck, he still took 2 of the letters for me. So thank you. But yeah, everything you got to be careful. There was military everywhere. So you couldn't piss outside kind of vibes, Anyway, so we're driving, but all the roads, there's like barricades everywhere. There's like trucks that they've just brought in to park at all these intersections, all around this Capitol area. Like any corner you would pass on the way in, because we'd circled the entire thing trying to find a way to get closer to this hotel. So I hadn't had to walk just because it was so brisk out. So but there was, some of them had cement barricades. Some of them just had like a big trucks. Some of them had SUV, little war trucks or whatever. It's like a little tank, but with, and they made them for regular people, but they were fucking sad. It was like, Hummers. They had those real Hummers. They had, what else? There was things stopping everywhere, and there was military personnel all over, or police, personnel all over. So anyway, the bus ride takes a while. You got to go through these certain streets. They have these big barricades set up, and then you have to kind of like turn the corner and then straighten your bus out to make it through these huge, like kind of cage steel walls that they've put up, so the bus can just fit right down the middle of the walls. Like the full the full street is closed, and it's just been narrowed to this one, like the middle lane kind of it. And so that took a while, like doing different turns. Anyway, we pull up outside of the Capitol, probably pretty far off. I'm not sure, maybe 400 yards. We start walking. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful. I mean, like freezing cold, but just picturesque. The sun's hitting you. You can see the Capitol, the American flag, and, it was exciting. All the officers, it seemed, they're all wearing like this, the cold, like headgear. You can just see their eyes or whatever, and just their gun or whatever. Yeah, they look like all like kind of dark snowmen, like kind of like black snowmen, like a little bit. Cause there was just, a lot of them was wearing SWAT gear, tactical. They had everything. They had a fucking gun, handcuff, billy club, Ray-Bans or whatever, just pepper spray, salt spray, just you fucking, you didn't even know what was going, just, one of them would fucking just throw a grenade full of lemon pepper, if shit got really bad. So anyway, you have all these officers and everything. You go inside. Let me think, right? So at the bottom, there's all these bikes. They'd parked all these bicycles and stuff kind of to make it like, you had to go past them, and it was a little bit of like a gauntlet kind of. It was just odd, the different things that they put in place to kind of make it odd to get into places. So you get inside, and then we walked along a hallway, and then you start to see military, like Marines, Army, colonels, generals, sergeant, staff sergeant, Sergeant Pepper, I think. It had everybody in that bitch, right? And they were standing at attention, and some were at not attention, the lazy ones or whatever. I don't know who they were, but they, and some people were getting photos. I mean, if you're rolling with Conor McGregor's, people's fucking topped in lad. That's the most violent, tallest leprechaun they ever made right there. He's a savage, man. And so, yeah, and you got him and the Pauls. And so, it was kind of nice because I was just under the radar. They're all taller and bigger, and so they have more excitement. I just kind of was, I was just, I was kind of in awe of the situation. My buddy, the wildfires got his home, but I'll tell you this, he had a fish tank, and the fish in it survived, which is pretty unbelievable. But that's just the power of nature and water. It's been estimated that the damages so far from the California fires total more than $250 billion. The loss of life is immeasurable, and the state and city are still in shock. There are claims that insurance companies canceled thousands of homeowners' fire policies in the months leading up to the fires. Were those cancellations legal? Could this catastrophe have been avoided? If the wildfires were caused by negligence, someone must be held responsible. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, has helped millions of families in their times of need, just like now. They were there for the PG&E wildfire and for the Maui wildfires, and now they are here to help again. If you or someone you know has lost a loved one, a home, a business, or property because of the California wildfire, you can check out Morgan & Morgan today. For more information, go to CaliWildfireLawsuit.com/THEO. That's CALI wildfirelawsuit.com/Theo. To learn more, CaliWildfireLawsuit.com/THEO. This is a paid advertisement for Morgan & Morgan. Getting your sweat on might seem like hard work, but with Symmetry Sauna, it's a work of art. Premium custom saunas for your home or business, plus a series of sleek, pre-built saunas. I just got myself a Symmetry sauna, and I'm sweating out bad decisions. Why sauna? Well, it relieves sore joints and muscles, improves skin, boosts heart health, and melts stress like hot butter. And I'm finally sleeping like a baby, which is rare since I'm usually up at 3 a.m. wondering if penguins have knees. Pro athletes, fitness buffs, big folks getting small folks getting big. Everybody's hot boxing. And Symmetry saunas can help. Designed in the USA, made with aspen wood from ancient Estonian forests. Ooh, yep, fancy trees. Symmetry Sauna, the perfect balance of form and function. Learn more about how to get your own premium home sauna from Symmetry Sauna at symmetrysauna.com/THEO. So anyway, we go to get, and once they started to open the doors, it was, some areas were kind of first come, first serve seating. That's what it felt like. So it was kind of rushed. It was like on the, last Friday or whatever, when you got, when they got a bunch of, they got a bunch of kind of basketball wives fighting for those TVs or whatever. It's for whenever Christmas shopping starts, you know what I'm talking about? So they had that, it was that kind of energy. Everybody's running to get a seat. Type of energy. And we weren't running, but we were kind of keeping a quick pace, but then we got up in there and we sat down, and they had also with us, or by us or whatever, was Sam Altman, and he did AI, right? And we'd love to get to chat with him and learn about how the world's going to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? We got to at least learn about it a little bit. And then Sam Altman, Alexander Wang, right? And I don't know a lot of Wangs. I don't know any. Okay, there he is. Alexander Wang, or Vang. I'm not sure how they do it he's New Mexican. So he's kind of the, he's kind of the Asian John Jones, if you will, sort of. But he went to MIT. He's interesting guy. Anyway, he's there. There was everybody else was governors, elected officials, rich people, people that had cattle or gold, or whatever. And some people don't even call it gold. At first, a lot of times they called it rocks, which is a crazy thing, but I could easily see people calling it that, and that's sad. Anyway, what am I fucking talking about? So we all sit down, right? We all sit down. And it's a wait, bro. It is like, and there's a lot of military. You got to meet a lot of military folks. So just to see all of them in their dress garb, that was probably one of the coolest things. You're in the Capitol and everybody's in their garb and it's just very regal looking. And and people were amped and there was fun stuff. And then every now and then you'd shake somebody's hand and they had a wet hand or whatever. And you're like, oh, fuck, somebody get this fella a bag of flour or somebody, or just get him one of those pool chalks and let him just chalk his hand up before he shakes again, before he meets somebody, But yeah. And then so that kind of happened. We sat there for a while, probably 30 minutes. And then, and so we all slipped off and just slunk out and got into a special area beneath some stairwells where a lot of the military was back there, and they was drinking chicken broth, hot chocolate, and coffee. And the government had given them a little bag with a banana in it. You're like, dear God, these people are putting their lives on the line, right? They're here to protect the president, and we're fucking... some of these bananas had been, I don't want to say they had been abused or whatever by their owner or whatever, but they had been trafficked. I don't know how but some of the bananas had, they're not, they're not going to be put back in circulation. I was surprised some of them were still in circulation. And anyway, but the military personnel didn't care. And that was kind of a blast too. That was probably the highlight of the whole inauguration, was seeing all the military folks from all different branches, from police to, Army, Navy, SWAT, sweat. There was just some gay guy wearing a shirt that says sweat on it. Who else? They had even stolen valor. Even the people out there in stolen valor, you were like, it was an honor. All of that, that was something great. Sorry, this story's getting long. So anyway, we got over there. We hadn't eaten any breakfast, right? I hadn't. And so I'm just slurping chicken broth and slurping hot cocoa, and anyway, so that was like a nice excursion from sitting there. We go back to our seats, and my chair was bad. I had a bad chair. The chair had been, I don't know, it was probably made in China or whatever. It just been one of those, probably a chair, it was a chair that shouldn't be allowed to chair. They should check these chairs, right? They should breathalyze and whatever they should do. But they did whatever this chair, probably knew somebody or whatever and got in the building. Anyway, it was kind of slagging a little. My chair was kind of like, so when I sit down, I had that fucking lean on me. You know what I'm saying? That shoulder lean, that shoulder lean. So and suddenly as soon as I sat like that, a lot of black people kind of nodded at me, because once you have that lean on you, bro, it's a little bit of a kind of urban respect going on, So I was like, okay, I'm in, I'm here. So we sit down, the congregation starts, the whole evening starts, the inauguration starts, and it's very nice, man. It's just, you're witnessing a piece of history and you get to be there. And it definitely felt like a lot of very regal people. And everybody was dressed very well, and just fancy. It was a diverse group, it felt like. I don't know if that's true. That's crazy to say that part. But it was nice. It was really nice, and just just felt lucky to be there, just to see it. I was saying this weekend on Twitter, but, some countries, they can't vote. They don't have voting. You can't go vote. You just live. And you feel like you don't have a say in how, in the template that you operate in, or the universe that you're set up in. You don't have a hand to raise ever. But but yeah, so it was wild to see that. It was wild to witness it. And then just the little things, just like everybody just watching like all the little things at the inauguration, just the little moments of little glances from the different people. And it's like this whole changing of the guard. And it's like this tag team. It's like tagging in, instead of tagging in your partner, it's like tagging in your opponent, which is just such a wild thing to witness in a sport. If you look at politics, almost like a sport. And so we sat there, everything was going pretty smooth. And then at some point my chair broke, right? The chair broke. It fell, right? I fell out. I don't know what to say it. The chair I don't know what happened, right? But the chair fell and I fell and it was like, oh dude, it was the worst, right? It was embarrassing. Because at first I thought, oh, people thought I did this, right? Like I don't like physical stuff. I don't like that. Like I'm not good at that type of stuff. Falling out of a chair, that type of shit, right? That's for fucking clowns or shitty mimes, right? That's for shitty mimes. That's shitty mime type shit. I don't do that. So the chair broke and then I was like, oh man. And Sam Altman looked at me, the guy who made AI, bro. He looks at me like, I was like, oh God, that dude's never going to come on the podcast. I was like, dude, design me a chair right now, bro. I was like, design me some way to get out of this embarrassment. So that was kind of strange. And then I got up and anyway, the thing carried on. We snuck off one more time to get some more stuff because it got long. Some of the benediction got a little, they were up there rattling and shit. And then Trump came through. He gave a very long speech in there. I think addressed a lot of different things in there. That it was kind of like the B-sides, like things he maybe didn't want to say in the actual, main part, but he said in there. And then on the way back to the hotel, our bus, kept turning off. It was, experiencing breakage or whatever, or it was broken. So we got out and just walked like the last few blocks. And that was kind of hectic. Just because some of those people are pretty recognizable and, just a lot of people were coming up pictures and videoing and ask, people from a different place. It was just a lot. It was like a lot of energy. And it was kind of a little scary, like I don't have security. I'm not saying I need security, but you're just out there. You don't know what people are, what I'm saying? You don't know, you just don't know what's going on. So that was a little crazy. Got back to the hotel. And yeah, went home, went to my hotel, which is maybe a mile away or something, took a nap for a few hours, and then went to the ball later on. And there was some issues about the chair, I ended up here, let me tell about the ball. So the ball, I guess they had a bunch of different balls and I got a ticket to one ball, right? And it was very nice. It was called the Starlight Ball, and it was beautiful in there. And I got dropped off. You had to get dropped off of blocks away. And then they had a very long, snake walk that you had to go on to get to the door. And it was probably a 20-minute walk, right? And so it was cold out. It was probably 25 degrees or something. So you're walking out there, and I didn't bring a coat, right? Because I didn't know, I didn't think, I guess. And so I didn't think about a coat and I didn't have a coat. And so we finally get up to the front, and they let you in and it was beautiful. It's nice. It's elegant. They got curtains. They got carpet. Some curtains was 80 feet long, 90, 45, 75 feet long, baby. They had curtains that had carpet on them. Like these bitches, they had everything in there. They had the craziest thing I saw, they had a ceiling fan. It must have been 150 feet up in the air, dude. I was like, what? How would you do it? And so I kind of was looking for the switch for that low key for a while. Let me see. Inside of the ball, I got to see some people that I knew. Joe Rogan was in there. Ernie Johnson. Who's the guy? Speaker of the House, maybe? Mike Johnson, baby. Got to talk to him. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana. He had a great sense of humor. We got to joke around a little bit. He had a few of his children with him. Got to talk with them. Wayne Gretzky was in there, the great one. I saw him. Dude, Wayne Gretzky had lost his tooth in there. My tooth got chipped, right? My tooth got chipped or something on a hard appetizer, right? So Wayne's in there. I told him that. He goes, like that, showed me his mouth. He's missing a whole tooth, dude. You know, runaway train, never going back. He had that bitch just gone, dude. I mean, he's a hockey player, so yeah. But then they're like looking on the floor for the tooth. So for probably 10 minutes, I'm helping him and his wife and somebody else, like I don't know if it was a dentist or whatever, but a dental assistant, basically. I think it was just a dude that liked guys or whatever. But he was trying to help look for it. And then, so we're looking for Wayne Gretzky's tooth, okay? And I think he's like, yeah, at one point I thought he said he usually kept a couple extra on him, you know? Because this is a hockey guy. These guys, you know, you'll go to bed, they'll have their wedding ring and a tooth on the nightstand, you know? That's just the kind of guys they are, you know? So yeah, he just had that empty net up top, and it was, but it was hilarious, dude. We laughed and we took a nice photo together, me, him, Mike Johnson. And then I started getting to some social anxiety in there. That was a little bit hectic. And what else was it? I mean, it's just like a couple thousand people. You know, when you can't be like, hey, have you seen Wayne Gretzky's tooth? You know, like, so I would do that a couple times. I was like, hey, have you seen Wayne Gretzky's tooth? You know, and I think a lot of people thought it was a euphemism for something or whatever. It was like a, kind of like, something like that. But, yeah, anyway, I don't know if they found it or not. I got to touch base with him, but what a legend, dude. What a legend, bro. That was awesome. So that kind of made my night, I think. What else? I saw Tony Hinchcliffe and Jeff Ross, and we joked around for about a half hour over by the desserts. The things that I did not enjoy, to be honest with you, no judgment, but these are just things that what it was like. There was only probably 25 chairs in the whole place for probably, I don't know, maybe it's 2,000 people in there or something, 1,600 people. Right? Is that the right amount of people? Maybe 1,000 people. So they only probably, they might have had 40 chairs, right? So it was like, if you saw a chair, it got Squid Gamey in there, dude. It was if you even heard an ass cheek leave a fucking seat, you could hear that, you could hear it at 40 paces. You could hear an ass cheek leave a seat. Whew. See people rush in, fly in, just for that damn 18 square inches of real estate, boy. For that ass real estate, maybe that chair. Who else? Sean O'Brien, I saw, the Teamsters Union president, who came on to the podcast once. Who else did I get to see or not see? Oh, Ben Shapiro, I saw. I didn't get to talk to him. Jake and Logan, I saw. I'm leaving some people out, but it was just a lot. And I was kind of burnt out. It was just like a lot of meeting people, and it was just a lot of energy. So then at one point, I ended up leaving. And at the same time, Lex Friedman was leaving. He does podcasting. I'd never seen him before. And we talked, we walked for about 20 minutes and then caught an Uber for about 15 minutes and, just laughed, had a good chat. Yeah. And that was it. That was the whole deal. I didn't get to see, I didn't get to meet anybody of the cabinet or anything like that. And I didn't get to see Barron Trump. I didn't get to see Barron, bro. B-Dog, bro. You hear me? I didn't get to see Barron Trump. That would have been something nice to meet that man. That's a young man you want to meet. You know what I'm saying? He's that. You know, he just is. He's that freaking seer. He's that seer, baby. He's the Lord's lookout, baby. You know what I'm saying? He is. He's that crow's nest of society right there. And so, yeah, that was probably a bummer. I didn't get to see Bobby Kennedy Jr., who's a friend of mine. That would have been really nice. I thought Melania looked really nice and gangster at the same time. Beautiful gangster vibe. I got to see JD Vance's wife, just see her. That's really beautiful. I think she's the first Indian second lady in time ever that we've ever had, Indian American. And if you've never met an Indian person, go meet one this year. I say that wholeheartedly. I met a couple Indian people last year and am still enjoying the benefits of that. And it's great. That's been great. So if you haven't met someone like that, that's a great person to meet. What else? There was some, Tim Kennedy I got to see. I just met him a week before, and I wish I couldn't find his number. I was going to try to meet up with him. It was so hard to go from one thing to the next. I was like, once you got somewhere, you were kind of there. There was just a lot. It was very tough to kind of move about in the city. What else? You all know I like to keep things cool, even in the winter. And nothing's cooler than a Blue Cube cold plunge. I'm fortunate enough to have one at home. And let me tell you, it's like baptizing your soul, baby. Get in that little crispy bucket, baby. It gets rid of them demons we all have and makes you feel great for 7 or 8 hours afterwards. It's good. My buddy Thomas Schiffer, the genius behind Blue Cube, and I go way back. And he just launched a pre-sale for their new stand-up cold plunges. Wow. These things are the Cadillacs of cold plunge therapy. American-made, full immersion, weatherproof frames, and built like a Sherman tank. I'll say this, they are built well. And because you're listening to me, you can get a sweet discount when you mention my name. That's right. Just tell them Theo sent you, and they'll knock a good bit off the price. So if you're ready to boost your metabolism, eliminate inflation, and blast away your anxiety, give them a call. Head over to their website, bluecubebaths.com, and dive into the details. Opt in on their website or give them a call. I am grateful for the one that I have, and I feel honestly thankful to be able to have one. I know they're not in everybody's price range, and that's understandable. But at the same time, I want to support my friend and his amazing company. Is pornography causing a problem in your life? Do you find yourself watching porno for longer periods of time and having trouble stopping? Is porn affecting your relationship or dating life? Well, you're certainly not alone. Watching pornography has become so commonplace today, and oftentimes men use porn to numb the pain of loneliness, boredom, anxiety, and depression. Shame and stigma prevent men from talking about these issues and getting help for them. I want to introduce you to my friend Steve. Steve is the founder of Valor Recovery, a program to help men overcome porn abuse and sexual compulsivity. Steve is a long-term sexual recovery member and has personally overcome the emotional and spiritual despair of abusing pornography and has dedicated his life to empowering men to do the same. Steve is an amazing person, and he is a close friend of mine. I mean that. Valor Recovery helps men to develop the tools necessary to have a healthier sex life. Their coaches are in long-term recovery and will be your partner, mentor, and spiritual guide to transcend these problematic behaviors. To learn more about Valor Recovery, please visit them at www.valorrecoverycoaching.com or email them at admin@valorrecoverycoaching.com. Thank you. Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway was just that it's just changing, It's like just that things are kind of different. Like I couldn't believe that we got to be at something like that. But I think that's just how the world is getting. Everything's kind of evening out. I don't really believe that there's it doesn't really feel like, it almost feels like there's not even really famous people. Everybody feels a little famous because everybody is able to kind of promote themselves if they want. What used to be like media that felt like it was kept from people or controlled, it just feels like it's just there now, and you can make your own decisions based on how you're consuming or who you're consuming stuff through, I guess. I don't know. I guess I don't have like a lot of macro level pictures of that kind of stuff. But just to get to meet Sam Altman, dude, the AI guy, like what? And then there was just more yeah, it was fascinating. I wish I had. I was kind of burnt out. It was very magnificent and had like a a Cinderella type energy and stuff. I'm just glad that I got to go to it. I couldn't believe that. There was a thing where, I thought I thought Logan and Jake were messing with me. They had videotaped, they were vlogging from the get, right? And I never spent much time around them, and I know that they're really successful and they're tough guys. Those are tough guys, right? No doubt. So anyway, they put a clip up. I fell out the chair, dude. And I didn't know. I knew that the chair had been bad. The chair was faulty. It was a faulty chair. I don't know if that was CIA or what. I have no idea. No idea how, if there was a plan there. But anyway, the chair was faulty. But then afterwards, somebody said that they were fucking with the chair, and so part of my brain was like, oh, did they do something with it to egg it on? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you see somebody who's like leaning on a crutch or whatever, and then you bar their crutch, you leave town, cause you got priors or whatever. And then they take that L, baby, that gravity L, baby, they fall. So I just didn't know. So I got in kind of this skeptical place. And I should have just checked in with Logan about it, I guess, but they were recording everything, so I didn't know if they were going to record it or whatever. And I hadn't been around them that much, and I think I get nervous around like vlogging type of things because it feels like somebody could be setting you up or something. I'm just not that familiar with that universe. And then later in the day, Logan Paul's made a video where he said he made a challenge about he said, if I was going to put you through something, I'd put you through a table, not a chair, because he is a wrestler. He's a WWE wrestler. I believe he's been a champion too, hasn't he? Let me see. Yeah, he was the WWE champion from November 2023 to August 3rd, 2024. So, so I thought I thought that he wanted that he was, then I thought he was creating like an online hype about it, I thought he was calling out the Rat King, and if you want the smoke, baby, I'll fill your lungs. You hear me? Cause I'm gonna give you the truth, baby, and I'm gonna give you the trauma. Name the time and the place and the time. Cause I got a clock and a globe and an axe to grind. From Alaska to Nebraska, from Maine to Fort Wayne. So that's where I was at. And then we ended up talking in the morning, and I should have probably communicated. That was my part in it was I didn't communicate better. And they didn't do anything. They were recording, the chair fell, and it was ridiculous. And then they weren't trying to wrestle. I used to watch you wrestle. They weren't trying to wrestle. And so, so no hard feelings there. Some just self-responsibility. I think it was just a little bit of miscommunication and just not knowing each other, maybe not knowing each other's energies some. And I'll say this too, honestly, I had a great time hanging out with them because we also had a great time that weekend. They were probably two of the guys. We just joking around. I got to see how they interact with their mother, and I thought that was very sweet, to be honest with you. No ditty or whatever, just like the way, and it was just all real genuine. You could tell that they have, you could just tell the affinity that they have for their mother and the same for them, because a lot of families that grow up, where the children are famous and stuff, they don't have the same, fortune. They don't have the same good fortune, and so that was really cool. Actually, it was. I thought I admired that about them. Some this honky Zen monkey rolled up on me at the hotel at one point and was kind of just like, he was just kind of trying to say stuff to me, and just, he was drunk, right? And he was just kind of kept spitting a lot, and it was just a lot for me. And he was just, his energy was super clear. He was like right up in my face kind of. And I told him I didn't want to really talk. it had been a long day or whatever. And then he kept coming up, and Logan and Jake both kind of just put a damn Trump wall right there in front of me. And I didn't need to be rescued, but I'm kind of glad they stepped in, because it could have got a little weird. You know, I was on edge a little. You know, I just hadn't hit a meeting, and just shit like that. I just got to take care of my own shit a little bit better. But, so yeah, what I'm saying is, and nobody asked me to say this, Logan and I had a call the other day. That shit was just confusion. And, yeah, that was just confusion. And then, I'm actually glad I got to, get to know them better, to be honest with you. It was kind of a joy of the weekend. And, what else was nice? I mean, it was all just crazy, just to even just to like stand around Evander Holyfield, and you're just like welcome to be around him, right? There's not like, neither one of y'all needs to walk off because you're both in the same group. It was like you were at a field trip. That's what it was like. It was like when you were kids at a field trip, and it was like, okay, this is the B group, and this is your chaperone, or this is the L group, and this is your chaperone. And so that was us. We had 8 or 9 of us. We had our chaperone. And we were just, learning about, civics and getting to see some of it firsthand. And we really did like laugh. It was a fucking blast, dude. And, yeah, I think maybe part of me, I wish they'd have asked if they'd have put the clip of falling of the chair out or whatever. But in the end, it's okay. It's all good. I don't have any ill thoughts towards them. I thought they were cool guys. Maybe I need to quit saying that, dude. Obviously, they're both married, and I like women. But yeah, I kind of wish we would have fucking took that. I kind of wish we would have took it to the ring. I think there was a part of me that was hoping, because, the Rat King, baby, I'll put him in the freaking mozzarella wheelchair, baby. You feel me? My finishing move is the tax evasion, baby. So, but that's every kid's dream, to get in there and get body slammed and lose a vertebra, in a sold out arena in Charlotte. I mean, we can all dream. But yeah, I'm just glad I got to go to the inauguration. I would have gone. You can't miss it. You couldn't miss it if you got to go. And I just feel lucky that I got to go. And so thank you to Alex Brushewitz for taking me. For John Shahidi, my buddy, who's been super supportive and helps me a lot, and helped me get to do the political podcast last year, and just to learn about some things that I care about, and just different politicians and how it works. It's like, I've learned a lot in the past year, to be honest with you. I think anyway, I think I have. And, so yeah, wish I'd have gotten to meet Barron. Wish I'd have gotten to see Bobby Kennedy. Some people gave me a hard time about going to the inauguration or supporting a party or whatever. I don't think about it. I support, I do what I want to do for me, and you can do what you want to do for you, and, but nobody owns my support. Nobody owns my support for anything, I don't think, except maybe my family. And even then I'll keep it away from them sometimes. So, I don't know about what else. Let's take a call that came in. Here we go.
Hello, Mr. Theo Vaughn. This is Judy.
Hey, Judy! Bam, bam, bam. Sorry, my buddy used to say that all the time. Carry on, Judy. Onward. Thank you for calling.
From Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. It's Mike Johnson country, and he's Speaker of the House. And I liked his attitude. I liked his energy. And I'm curious to see what this whole new campaign, what they do in there. I'm curious to see, because it's a motley group that they got going in there. And I want to get to meet some of them. I want to get to talk to some of them and learn some stuff, and also ask them some promises. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And then we can see if we can hold them to it. If we get to keep podcasting for years, we'll be able to hold them to it. Hey, you said you were going to get to do this. Why didn't it happen? Or why did it happen? So that kind of stuff really intrigues me. Are we going to get lobbyists and foreign countries and APACs and all these different people out from interfering with our candidates? And interfering with our lobbies, or how does it work? And also, am I just delusional and I just don't know the whole system? And if that's the case, then educate me on it, because there's also just a cost of doing business in some things, like sometimes there's a cost to doing business, like you could go set up a fruit stand or something, or a little watermelon stand or something, a little banana shop or something on the corner of a street. You could do that, but you have to pay a permit, right? It's just the cost of doing business. So sometimes I wonder if there's, what the truth is out there. I want to learn more about that. Let's hear more. Sorry.
I've called you a few times. Anyhow, I just want to say congratulations. I'm so happy for you that you had the opportunity to go to D.C. on Inauguration Day. I said something to my husband over the weekend that I sure hope Theo Vaughn goes to Washington to experience Inauguration Day.
Well, thanks, ma'am, or young lady, thank you, miss. I appreciate that. Yeah, Theo Vaughn went to Washington, I guess. 5 goes west or whatever. 5 goes to Section 8. That's going to be, maybe I'll be able to be in that. Yeah, but 5 was a mouse, dude, and he went west, and we're the rats, baby, and we went east. So, but thank you for thinking of me. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, how can I not go? So yeah, thank you. Let's hear more, miss.
Because you, my friend, are so worthy and deserving to have that opportunity. Countless of us are so grateful. Thank you for going. You truly deserve that. I was so excited for you. And I just want to thank you again for just having truly the best podcast that I get so hyped to listen to. And you are so deeply loved.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's sweet of you to say that. That's nice of you to say. I thought about my teachers from growing up. I thought about my mom. I didn't steal, but I took a couple extra napkins. Because I know my best friend's mom is going to want one. My mom's going to want one probably. There's a teacher or two. If I get to see him again, that I would like to give him to. Just little things like that. And to see things you like and don't like. You get to witness like, okay, there's some stuff here that I feel like this. There's some stuff here that I feel like that. I felt like, I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. To be real honest with you, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that I'm sitting in there and I'm at the damn, this is like they're doing the inauguration, and then the chair broke and I'm like, oh. And you're on the floor and you're like, oh, this isn't good. And then I was like, please let me fall through to another world or whatever. Like I looked over at Sam Altman and I was like, designer, I was like, send me into the Matrix right now, man. Don't make me have to just get up and just be human. So that was a lot. I don't know, was it a lot? But anyway, it just is what it is, man. And the best part of it was some rich lady scoffed at me. It's like, oh, as if she had to watch one of her own dog's shit. Those people that are really rich, they have someone else walk their dogs, so they never really know that their dog's shit or whatever. She was like, oh, God. She like grabbed her husband's arm or something. I'm like, yeah, you got it right. You're sitting in the wrong section. You in Section 8, boo-boo. These chairs busted as hell, brother. So maybe we'll start making our chairs in fucking America again. I don't know. Maybe we'll start taking some pride in the things that we built, that we build, you know? I don't know. I wonder what the future is going to be like. You know, I wonder. And if we're strong enough, man, it's weird. It's like the things that I feel like are bad for me, sometimes it's hard to stay away from. It's hard to keep using them. You know, it's interesting. But I'm just happy I get to be alive and play the game every day. Sometimes I play it pretty good. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes my attitude sucks. Like, yeah, dude, I was at the ball or whatever, and the desserts, dude, I wanted to get a drink or something, and then I was like, I'm not drinking, you know, I'm not doing it. I was kind of going through it, and so I fucking said I'm gonna get me some desserts, right? Because sometimes if you want to drink, if you to stop that craving, you get you some desserts, boy, you know. So I tongued down a couple Petit Fours, baby. Let me bring up a picture of one of them. God, they're good if they're beautiful. They're good if they're good, but when they're not, they're just a waste of your fucking calories. Petit Four. And I'm the kind of guy, I'll put something in my mouth, and if I decide once it's in there that it ain't worth it, you gonna get that shit back, honey. I'll put that shit in a nat can, baby, and hide a little doggy bag somewhere behind a plant or something. I don't give a damn. I'll fucking feed that bitch to a sofa cushion after I take it out of my mouth. I don't give a damn. Because I don't eat bullshit sugars, dog. A Petit Four, also known as mignardises, is a small bite-sized confectionery or savory appetizer. The name is French, Petit Four, meaning small oven. That's small oven, baby. You know what I'm saying, huh? Damn, boy. And Wayne Gretzky lost that freaking... He was spitting chiclets, dude. Shout out to them. He had I'm upstairs, baby. The Lord installed a window on his smile, baby. He had that thing going. And shout out Wayne, man. We talked about his family, and I'm just clowning. He knows he had a great sense of humor. He's like, yeah, usually I got a couple extra I keep on me. Oh, but just moments like that, you're talking to the greatest hockey player in the world, and he's asking you how you're doing. And then you're just helping somebody look for a tooth in a fucking nice room. It's just like, it's just a shit you kind of always dreamed about, I guess, you know? Let me see if there's one more question. Any questions you guys had, Nick or Zach?
I don't think so. Are you looking for a voicemail? Can you hear me?
You notice anything on your mind about the election? Was there anything?
You made a point. You posted on Instagram about how you think we need more than two parties. That was interesting.
Yeah, I think that's something, you know. I think that's a big thing for me is that, hey, how do you get more parties? Because I feel like if they're, you know, if they're just, we need more teams. It'd be more exciting. You know, and I know there are more. People are like, there's the Green Party. I know that. Let me see. How many political, just so we know, some of you guys are like, this idiot, you don't know. The electoral system in the U.S. called a two-party system. That means two parties dominate the political field. The two largest parties. Okay, minor parties. There's so then you have Democratic and Republican. Those are your two major. Your minor parties are the Libertarian Party. Was founded December 11th, 1972. As of March 2021, it is the largest third party in the United States, claiming nearly 700,000 registered voters across 28 states. The Green Party, you know what I'm saying? Blow it in the air, baby, that sticky icky. The Green Party has been active as a third party since the 1980s. You know what I'm talking about. Cheech and Chong, homie. That's what's up, baby. Dope as Yola. The party first gained widespread public attention during Ralph Nader's second presidential run in 2000. Okay. And then the Constitution Party is a national conservative political party in the United States. It was founded in the U.S. Taxpayers Party in 1992 by Howard Phillips. There's also the Alliance Party. Is a centrist American political party. It was formed in 2018 and registered in 2019. And the Vermont Progressive Party So those are 3, 4, 5 other parties. That's pretty cool. I would love to just talk to Bernie Sanders again. You know, that would be something nice this year to learn a little bit more about some stuff. Yeah, I think I've gotten more curious this year. I feel more curious. And then just, some things I want to do this year. Try and be better to my friends. I think I can do it. And just take more time and not in my own world and think about other people's worlds. That's one thing that keeps me. Sometimes I just get stuck in my own world. And then it's not that I'm not thinking about others. It's just I'm thinking about me too much or some things I have to do, right? So there's some goals of mine. Anyway, sorry to ramble. Anything else? Any other? Nick, did you have a question? Anything come to mind? I know Zach had it.
I didn't. I just thought it was kind of a beautiful moment. And it did feel like things are changing, good or bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes change, it's good. You don't know. You know, it's like Bobby Kennedy. People said he was a witch doctor or whatever. People said he was, what were some of the things you heard? Oh, he worked for Frankenstein. You would hear all of that or whatever. You know, people would say he has a bus full of like frogs with Band-Aids on them and shit like that, and like bears that are missing arms or whatever. And yeah, he's definitely, you know, he's had some weird instances with some roadkill. I'll agree to that. But it's a mystery. I like something new. Let's try this. Let's try this. So, all right, blessings to you guys. Thanks for listening to me ramble about the inauguration. Thanks for being a part of the podcast. As always, the hotline is 985-664-9503. What was the call-in thing that we spoke about earlier? Nick, do you remember about one of them we talked about? That would be a good call-in thing.
Craziest thing you've ever seen in a bathroom.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was, man. So one thing that happened was I was at the inauguration, you know? And I was there, right? And so I go into the restroom, right? Typical, you know, restroom user. That's who I am. So I go in there and there's only a couple sounds that you hear in the bathroom that are kind of acceptable, right? You know, you'll accept a lot of sounds in a bathroom. You're like, okay. You're like, oh, all right, but okay. You know, and then sometimes you hear some stuff and you do a quick prayer for somebody or something. But there's only a few sounds. But somebody was in there either, I don't want to say doing, you know, cocaine maybe, or just breathing short really fast every now and then. So that kind of blew my mind. But it just goes to show you that you never know when somebody, you know, is getting tooted up on the gear. You know what I'm saying, Big Randy? You never know. So, all right, a little bit more American inauguration music on the way out. But yeah, you can hit the hotline, 985-664-9503. Let us know something you've seen in a bathroom that's been strange over the years. Something that's kind of shocked you or really, you know, you thought to yourself, okay, that's different right there. 985-664-9503. Praise God, baby. I'm upstairs. And if anybody finds Wayne Gretzky's tooth, you guys hit the hotline. You know that. And we'll get that install done for him up there. But you guys be well, man. Thank you guys. Amen. Baron! You guys be good to yourselves, baby. You deserve it, gang.